Hey guys, welcome back to Maddie's Tech World. Today, I'll be showing you how to move a sprite on a canvas, mainly focusing on JavaScript, but we still have two other languages to do. The first one is HTML, second, CSS, the third one, but not least, is JavaScript. So as you can see, I'm going to be showing you how to move a sprite on the canvas. It says right up here. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the HTML. And now I'm going to put in the HTML skeleton. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. So first of all, we add the HTML tag. Enter. After I end the tag, inside the HTML tag, I need to add two other tags. The head tag and the body tag. So in the head tag, I need to add another 3 tags. So I'll explain each one as I go. So the first one is the title tag. This title tag basically displays the words on the tab you see in Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, etc. And for the title for this one is going to be moving sprite on canvas. That's our title. So these are the words that appear on the tab. The tab. Okay. Our next tag in the head is going to be the link tag. And I'm going to use this tag to basically link the HTML to the CSS. So next I have to put rel equals to, and then in double quotes, I'm going to put style sheet. And after the double quotes, I'm going to put down href equals to, and then I'm going to put double quotes. And href basically means referencing to, and then I'm going to put style.css. After the double quotes, I just end that and move on to my next tag, which is called the script tag. So I'm going to use this to link the HTML to the JavaScript. So here, first of all, I have to put down type equals to, and then in double quotes, text/JavaScript. Okay. And after the double quotes, I just close that, and that finishes off our head tag. Now, let's move on to the body tag. So, if you see on biographies, stories, websites, they all have a title, which actually appears on the screen. And the body tag, basically, whatever we put in there will actually appear on the screen. So here, first of all, I'm going to put a tag called h1, which basically means header 1. And since header and title are basically the same thing, I'm just going to manage with that. And inside the header tag, I'm going to put the same thing. Moving sprite on canvas. There we go. Now I'm going to give an enter and put down another tag, which is called the BR tag, which basically means break. So that's going to give a small space between the header and then whatever is below it. So it's basically a line of space. Okay, now I'm going to put another tag called the P tag or paragraph tag. And in this tag, I'm going to write one line instruction. So I'll have to do that so that the users know actually what to do. So here I'm going to put down press any arrow key to move the player around the canvas. There we go. That should finish off our one line of instruction. Very simple to follow. And our second P tag is going to be a note. So basically sometimes, or all the times, when you're trying to move a sprite on a canvas and you execute the code, the sprite and the background of the canvas don't really appear. So you have to press one of the keys to make it appear. So that's why I'm going to put note colon, and then I will have to separate these because I will have to make this word note visible or eye-catching, attractive. So this has to catch a lot of attention because it's a note. If they don't know what to do, if it doesn't appear, they'll be like, what should I do? So they look at the note and see, oh, will this help? Oh yeah, I will press all the arrow keys and see what happens. And then it will appear. That's why I'm going to put this note sentence. But I can't separate this directly. So I'm going to use a span tag. Now inside the span tag, not actually inside the span tag, but right next to the word span, give a space and write down style equals to, and then double quotes. And inside those double quotes, put down color, colon, and then black. So style, this word style is basically related to the CSS, and color is nothing but the text color or the font color. Not image color, not background color, not border color, anything like that. Just text color / font color. And I put it as black since the note part is going to be red and then the rest is going to be black. So I just put it as black. And in CSS, we're going to edit this whole paragraph tag to be red, but only this part is going to be red since we put black for the other part. So now I'm just going to close the span tag, and inside the span tag, I'm going to put the actual note. So I could put, if the player is not visible, press any of the arrow keys. There we go. That should finish off our paragraph tag. But since I need to edit this in style.css, I will need an ID. Because if I just directly put P and then edit it, it's going to edit these both paragraph things. So it's going to edit this and it's going to edit this. But we only want one to be edited, and it is this one. This one. We need this to be edited. So yeah. So now I'm going to give an ID, which is going to be note, a simple one. So now if I go to CSS, I can easily edit it. Now after this note paragraph, I will have to add a canvas. And in this is where our player is going to be moving around. So this is basically the main tag of this whole thing. It's okay if we don't have the title, like the header or the paragraph. We definitely need the canvas. Okay, so I write canvas down, and then next to the word canvas, give a space and write down ID. We will have to give this an ID because we'll be editing it in JavaScript. So the ID for this is simply my canvas with a capital C. Not a capital M, a capital C. Okay, and after the double quotes, I write down height equals to. We're setting the height and width because if we didn't, then it would be a tiny little dot. That's why height equals, and then in double quotes, we write down, I'm going to pick 600, but you can pick something else if you want to. Now, after the double quotes, I just write down width equals to, and then in the double quotes, again, I write down 800, because the width has to be at least 100 wider. Am I right? Then only it will look like an actual canvas. Okay, so I'm just going to end that canvas tag. Now, we have to go to style.css and edit the note paragraph. So I'm just going to get the ID of the note paragraph, which is note. I'm going to style.css and put it down. But we are not meant to do that, because before we put any ID, we have to put a hashtag. Then only it's counted. So after I put the ID along with the hashtag, I put curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets, I click enter. And in the space, I write down color the American way. Not the other way, the American way. COLOR, not COLOUR. Anywhere in JavaScript, CSS, or HTML, you should put it the American way, not the other way. Now, you might have noticed, if you're if you could observe very well, that I did not put a semicolon here. I did not put a semicolon here. Because the reason why is because it's HTML, so we don't really need to do it. But in style.css, it is compulsory to do it. So that's why I put a semicolon. Now, in the color, for the color, I'm just going to put red. Now, only the note part, only this part is going to be red, but the rest is going to be black. This part is going to be black. Well, yeah, that. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a tiny space here so it's much more readable, and let's check it out. Go live. Okay, so that worked, surprisingly. So as we said, the header h1 moving sprite on canvas appears here. And since it's a header, it has a much bigger font than the paragraphs, because it's a title / header. So yeah. And our break tag, which gives a line of space at the bottom below the h1, and the paragraph tag, the first one, press any arrow key to move the player around the canvas, is our first paragraph. And our second paragraph, the note paragraph, only the note part is red. See? And then the rest is black, because we told it to be black, color black style for the span. Note, if the player is not visible, press any of the arrow keys. So yeah. Now I'm just going to move this back and go back to the code. Now it's time for our legendary language, the most famous language, JavaScript. Let's go into it. Now, we will have to make a lot of variables here. So don't be overwhelmed if I tell you how much code there is in here. There's going to be a lot of code, but don't be worried, because I'm going through it step by step. Okay, so our first variable is going to be our canvas variable. So I'm just going to write down canvas equals to, and then I'm going to write down document dot get element by ID, and I put brackets next to it because it's a function. Precisely, it's a predefined function, which basically means it was already made. We don't really have to make it. So in the brackets now, I put double quotes, and then I get the ID of my canvas. So if I go to HTML, I get the ID of my canvas as my canvas. So I just copy that and go to JS and paste it there. Now, at the end of the brackets, I will have to put a semicolon, because every single line you write in JavaScript, you will have to, and compulsorily have to, put a semicolon. And I don't really need to tell this anymore because it's going to take my voice away. So yeah, just remember to put a semicolon at every line you write. If you don't, there might be some errors. Now I have to create the ctx variable. Ctx equals to, now I have to put canvas dot get context. And get context, like get element by ID, is a predefined function. And the G is not capital, it's lowercase, and the C is capital, just like in get element by ID. The G is lowercase and the other words are uppercase, but only the beginning of them. So E, B, and I in get element by ID are uppercase. Now, in the brackets for get context, I'm going to put the double quotes again and put down 2D. And yep, I don't really need to tell this, but I'm telling you, I'm going to put semicolon at the end. Okay, now that I have got those two variables, now I need to add the x and y coordinates for my player. Okay, so if I just go down here, I'm going to put player x equals to, so player underscore x equals to 0. There we go. Now player y, player underscore y equals to 0. You might be thinking, if the x and y positions of the player are 0, it might be in the center, but it's not in the center, it's at the top left for these canvases, which is weird. Okay, now for the player and the background of the canvas, the background of the canvas and the player of the canvas, we will have to add the specific files, which you can see I already downloaded here on the left hand side. Now I'm just going to put player underscore image, the full form of image, equals to yeah, and then I put double quotes and player.png, and whenever you're adding files, it is compulsory to put the end part, the dot and then something part, because if we just put the main part, the words, then it won't really make sense. Now I'm going to put player, not player though, it's background underscore image equals to, and then in double quotes again, I'm going to put down the name of my background, which in this case is Minecraft wallpaper. And some people are really eager to see Minecraft again, so I'm just going to show them the wallpaper. I know it's pretty basic. So that was it, and my player is also from Minecraft because I actually love Minecraft. Now, let's go back to JS. Okay, so since I've attached the file for my wallpaper, oh wait, I forgot myself. I need to put the end part, JPEG. Is that the end part? Yep, that's it. Okay, JPEG. Now the file is actually there. Now we have to add a function called add. I know, adding a function called add sounds weird. Function space add, and then I put brackets, and outside the brackets I put curly brackets and enter inside them. Now I'm just going to copy this and paste it there. Okay. Now here I need to add, now here I need to make another variable called background image tag. So I'm just going to put that down. Background image tag equals to, and then I put new space image and then brackets. So image again is a predefined function, which means it's a function that was already created. We don't really need to create it because it's already there. Now we need to put background underscore img tag. Let me just do a tab there. Background image tag. Just a reminder that the T in background image tag, the T is capital. The rest is just lowercase. So background image tag equals to, or background image tag dot onload equals to, and then another function which is called upload background, and then that and semicolon. So we put a bracket after the upload background, and this function we are going to create separately, so after this. Now background underscore img capital T A G dot src, which basically means source. Background underscore img tag dot src source equals to, and then remember we made those variables about the files or sources for the player and the background. So since this is the source for the background, we get the variable background image since it holds the source for the background. So I'm just going to put down the variable background underscore image, the full form of image. And there, and that with a semicolon. And we basically need to do the same for the player. So I'm just going to copy that and paste. Now here I have to put player underscore img capital T tag, because I'm doing it for the player, not the background now. Player. And player img tag equals new image is correct. Player img tag dot onload, however, is not correct because we're doing an upload player function, not an upload background function. Okay. Now player img tag dot src does not equal to background image but equals to player image. There we go. Now that we've finished the function add, we need this function to actually be done, like executed. So let's go back to index.html and go to the body tag. Inside the first part of the body tag, like next to the word body, give space and put onload equals to, and then put double quotes, and inside those double quotes put the add function, add, and then the brackets. That's all. Now we are not totally done with the HTML yet because there is something else to do. We have to add another script tag which actually links the HTML to the JavaScript. So script space. Now we have to put something different, src, as I told you, which means source. There we go. Now script src equals, and then in double quotes we have to put main.js because that is the source, and that and the tag, and we are finally finished with the HTML in just 16 lines. More like 15 or 16. Yeah. Now let's go back to JS and create our upload background and upload player functions. So here I'm going to put down function upload background there. Now inside the function, I'm going to put, wait 1 second. There we go. Okay, so here I'm going to put ctx.draw image, and then inside here I'm going to put the actual image we need, and this is upload background. So I will need the background img tag variable. So background underscore img capital T tag, and that is the image. Now comma, now we need to set the x and y coordinates for it, but since the background doesn't really move, but if it was, it would be weird. So now we have to put the x and y coordinates, and that is 0 and 0 because it's not moving anywhere. Now we have to put the width and height for it, but since the background is the background for the canvas, we will have to put it to the width and height of the canvas. So now I'm going to put canvas dot width for the width of the background. Next I'm going to put canvas dot height, and that ends our function with a semicolon, and that ends our function upload background. Now we just basically need to do the same. So I'm just going to copy that and paste. But first I have to make the function. So now I'm doing the function upload player. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and put it right there. I'm going to take this back. Okay, now here I will have to basically do the same thing, but change a few different things. Basically. Okay, so ctx.draw image correct, but our image is going to be different, and it's going to be our player img tag, and then our x and y coordinates are going to be player x and y, because later in the project we're going to be changing x and y while we're moving with our arrows. So I'm going to put player x and player y as our x and y coordinates. Now we don't want the player to be wide as the canvas and tall as the canvas, so I'm just going to put a fixed value. So I'm just going, or also known as a constant. So I'm going to put 70 and 80 as the height, because the image is actually a square for some reason. Okay, so 70 and 80. Now that we have finished the upload background and upload player functions, now it's time to do our actual keys. Okay, so now I need to add something called window.add event listener, and add event listener yet again is a predefined function. So I'm going to add brackets next to it, and now I'm going to add double quotes, and inside those double quotes I'm going to put down key down, no capital letters, just key down. And then I'm going to, outside the double quotes, I'm going to put a comma, space, and now I'm going to put another function which we are going to create. So my underscore key down, that is my function, and I'm just going to end that with a semicolon. And now I will have to create my actual function. So now I'm going to put down function space my underscore key down. That is my function name. Now I'm going to put brackets and curly brackets, and not inside the curved brackets. The curly brackets need to go outside those. Enter. Now I'm going to take this, just 1 second. And there. Now I need to add another variable, which is called key pressed, and then its value is going to be, and I forgot to tell you something, but function myKeyDown also is going to be making a variable called e. Now here, key pressed equals e dot key code, capital C, code, key code. Now that I have created the key pressed variable, now I can do everything. Okay. Now I need to create some if conditions. So here, my first if condition is going to be if, and then in brackets, I'm going to put if key pressed equals to, and then in double quotes, I'm going to put 37. Now, the reason why I'm putting 37 is because it is the ASCII code for the left arrow. So there are specific ASCII codes for different letters on the keyboard. And if I press A, it will show 60. If I press D, it will show 63, like that. Now, the ASCII code for the left arrow is 37. So if key pressed equals 37, then outside those brackets I put a curly brackets, and inside those I press enter, and inside this if condition I put the name of another function, which is, since this is 37 and it's the left arrow, I'm going to put down the function named left. And I don't know why that came up, so I'm just going to put left. And that. Now I need to put console.log. And console.log basically puts a value, or the value of a variable or a string into the console. And a console is basically something which shows any errors in the code, if there are any, for the project. So that's why I love console, because sometimes I scan the whole code and then see that there are no errors. I think there are no errors, but then turns out that when I go to the console, there are like 2 to 3 errors. That's why I love console. Okay. So log, as you can see here, is yet again a predefined function. What was that? Our 6th predefined function or something? I don't know. But log is again a predefined function. And next to that I put brackets. And in those brackets I'm going to put a string, not a variable or anything. So here I'm going to put double quotes since it's a string and it's actual words. Here I'm going to put left, and that with a semicolon, and that ends our if condition for left. Now I need to create 3 more because there are 4 arrow keys. Just going to copy that, be a bit lazy here. Okay, so now I got left, up, right, and down. I haven't done it yet, but yeah. Now for our up. If key pressed equals 38, which is our ASCII code for up, for the up arrow, and then I'm going to put the function of up, and now I'm going to put in the console up. So I'm just going to do it for right now, which is 39, right, and then I'm going to put in the console right. Now for our down, which is 40, I'm going to create the function down, and I'm going to put a string in the console called down. Now I've done all the if conditions for the 4 keys. Now, see that we have created our functions here, but there is something really important we need to do here. Instead of just a single equals, we need to put a double equals, because then only if key pressed 38 becomes the value of key pressed. So we need to put double equals. There we go. Now the code will actually work, but it won't work yet because we haven't created the functions for left, up, right, and down. So here is where we start our functions. So here, first of all, I'm going to add the function space left, and inside it, first of all, I'm going to add an if condition. So now, earlier I said we would be changing the player x and y coordinates for the player. So this is where we change it. Now, since we're moving left, it's related to player x, because player x, the x coordinates are horizontally, and the player y is anywhere vertically. So that's why I put if player underscore x equals to or is greater than or equals to, because we need our player x to be greater than let's say 10 or equal to 10. Then only it can move left. And I'm going to be moving the player up, down, right, or left by 10 pixels. So if it's greater than or equal to 10 and it's equal to 10, then if I press left one more time, then it's not really going to go left because it's on 10 and there's going to be a little bit of space. Okay, now player x, if player x is greater than or equal to 10, then curly brackets inside them, inside the if condition, I put then player x equals player x. I know player x is obviously equal to player x. I mean, that's just blatant. But now we're changing something. Player x equals player x minus 10. Now he's going to be actually moving left. So here we'll have to put upload background and then upload player. The reason why we put upload player is because after we change the x, we're just changing the x. We're not moving the guy. So if we go to upload player, the function upload player, here it says ctx.drawImage, player image tag, player x and y. And since we set player x to a different value, he's going to that value. That's why we put upload player. So I'm just going to put upload background, the function, so brackets, semicolon. Now upload player is a function. Whoops. Okay, now we have done the function for left. Now I'm just going to copy this and do it for the up, right, and down. Okay, so function up is our second function. If player y now, because up is basically anywhere on the y axis. So if player y is greater than or equal to 10, and I need to remember that the height of my canvas is 600 and the width of my canvas is 800. I will have to use that for the next two functions. Okay, if player y is greater than or equal to 10, then player y equals player y minus 10. Since we're decreasing in the y value, we're basically going up in this canvas. In other canvases, it might be different. I don't know. But in this canvas, it's like this. Now I need to create the function for right. Now we're back to player X, but if player X is less than or equal to, and do you remember how I said 800 was the width of my canvas? Now I need to put -10. So there's at least a little space there. So I'm just going to put 790. So 800 minus 10, 790. Now if player X equals player X plus 10. And function down now equals to, now we're back to player Y. If player Y is less than or equal to, and 600 minus 10 is 590. So if player Y is less than or equal to 590, then player Y equals player Y plus 10. Now that we have done all of this, let's check it out. Okay, we can't see the canvas right now, but let me just click right, up, left, down. It's not working. I wonder why. And surprisingly, this is in Safari, so I can't really go to the console. So I'm going to do this again, Command C, and go to Google Chrome and do it. Here it will definitely work. Okay, now I'm going to inspect and see what is wrong. Well, nothing is wrong, so what happened? Oh, nothing really happened. In Chrome it works. In Safari it doesn't. I don't know why. But, as you can see, our player is moving. Yes! It's a success! Yay! And as you can see, he's not going out of the screen because we set if it is greater than or equal to 10, like if player Y is greater than or equal to 10, then move up. So that's why he's not going out. And here as well, he's not going out. And as you can see, when I put in the functions for these, in the if conditions here, as you can see, I put console.log left when I pressed the left key. And similarly, if I pressed up, it would display up. If I pressed right, it would display right. If I pressed down, it would display down. And that's what's happening here. Because if I press right, it is displaying right here. As you can see, here it is. Here. There. So now our guy is finally able to walk, and he's not just standing there in plain air. He's actually walking. Okay, so that is a success. As you can see, he's standing right there. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you liked it and you think you actually learned something, subscribe and click the notification bells so you'll get notifications, or you'll get notified whenever I publish a new video. So subscribe, click the notifications bell, and send any comments if you think I could improve on something, or you think I could make a video about HTML, JavaScript, or CSS. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace!